Hi friends, my name is Sara Ernst and I'm a children's author, illustrator, and musician. And I'm so excited that you're here with me today. I'm going to read one of my stories that I wrote and illustrated, but it's one of my favorite stories to read aloud. And so it's very special to me that you're joining me for this today. It is called The Small Gray Goat, a weathered tale of the heart. I feel like I should have a goat with me or something, but I wasn't able to manage that today. So we'll just have to enjoy it without a goat around me. But are you ready, friends, to dive into this story with me? On the side of a hill, the rainy side, where the grass is soggy and nothing is dry, lived a small gray goat with a small gray bell around his neck. He liked to be alone, and he did as he pleased. The birds who passed him found him too grumpy, so they flew away. The rabbits that came by found him too greedy, so they hopped away. The flies who landed on his hair found him too dirty, so they buzzed away. One day, a child came on to the side of a hill, the sunny side, where the grass grows tall and the flowers wild. She rested on the hill, and she made a wreath out of the blooms. Have you ever done that before? The child heard the sound of a small bell and looked over to find the small gray goat. The goat looked grumpy, greedy, and dirty. Remember those 3 words. He walked up to the child and nudged her away. He didn't want her there. He did not want her on the hill. And the child ran away. On the side of the hill, the windy side, where the grass grows slower and the leaves blow by, the small gray goat with the small gray bell grazed. He heard a noise in the leaves and looked up to see the child. She had come back to crunch in the leaves and was making a wreath out of twigs. The small gray goat looked, what? Grumpy, greedy, and dirty. He walked up to the child and nudged her away. He did not want her there. He did not want her on the hill. And the child walked away. On the side of a hill, the snowy side, where the grass is nearly gone and the ground is white, the small gray goat with the small gray bell around his neck climbed the hill through the snow looking for a patch to graze. When he reached the top of the hill, he saw the child. She had come back to sled in the snow and to make a wreath out of the evergreens. The small gray goat looked, what? Grumpy, greedy, and dirty, and walked up to nudge the child away. But the child sat huddled on her sled, holding her wreath tightly. The goat nudged her gently, but she did not go away. She was too cold. The small gray goat had never had to care about anything but himself. But in that moment, he did. He cared for the child, the one that came to his hill. He grabbed the rope to her sled in his mouth and pulled it over the hill and down into a small valley where he saw a little cabin of flickering lights. He pulled the child to the door, and her people came outside to her. The child looked over to see the small gray goat walking away. On the side of a hill, the sunny side, where the grass grows tall and the flowers wild, the small gray goat with the small gray bell had learned to share. Birds and rabbits eagerly joined him, and the flies enjoyed his hair. He was lying on the hill to rest in the sun when he looked over and saw the child. She had come back to thank him and to make a wreath out of the blooms. He walked up to her and nudged her hand. She petted his dirty hair and rang his bell. Then she put a wreath on his head and sat next to him in the grass. The small gray goat looked glad, grateful, and content. The end. Friends, I hope you enjoyed The Small Gray Goat, A Weathered Tale of the Heart. Oh, I enjoyed reading that to you. Thank you for joining me today. You can go to wildpicklepress.com for everything that I do and find all of my children's music on any music platform. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope that you will join me for some of my other stories. Until next time, friends. Bye.